Forgot who said that.
Was that JYT Gamer?
Hmm. All right, everyone. Um, welcome to the stream, tier list stream. We're streaming Steel Ball Run arcs over here. Which yeah, and there are two more down there. Which I was JYT Gamer. Yeah. I was still thinking about that. Um, yeah, and the other two arcs are down there, but yeah, yeah, we're out here streaming. Um, okay, this is mad early. We gotta hit the BRB fish instantly, just cause I gotta add some more changes to the stream now that the stream started. Oh, it's not even like the whole thing. Okay, that should be better. Um, okay. Hoping that people go from the video to the live stream, and then we can have so many cool fans watching. I should also upload this to my thing. So yeah, it says be right back, but I'm here. I'm just a couple finishing touches.
If only we had a fish. We're starting soon.
No, wait, is it not on the screen?
No, the BRB fish is
Oh,
up.
oh, the starting soon fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that would be a nice touch. Um, yeah, we're here with the special guest using the best app, Fluxer. Shout out Fluxer.
Yeah. I don't know about a shout out just yet. I mean, they've been having, well, not recently, but, they've had a few server problems.
True, true.
And just because so many people are on here, of course, it's so good. I think
All
a
right.
starting soon fish, though, would need, like, to have
Stream is
anything.
cooked. Wait, what does he mean by that?
I don't quite know.
What's wrong with the stream? Do let me know if there's like an issue. Uh, but yeah, yeah. I'm just
Yeah, if there's something wrong with Trigger, I can't see it. I don't see no problem other than BRB fish is up, but we don't care about that fish. The fish is the goat.
all right. Uh, I want to make a community tab post for it, and then we should be good. Oh, it's good. You're just messing with me. Okay. It's cause the BRB fish is coming out frame one. I trust it's fine. Okay. We should be good.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this is what the format of the stream is gonna look like. The I guess current arc discussion would work better. Oh, that looks the hell. I guess okay. I guess the tier listing wants to do that. All right, so this is probably gonna be the format of it, just because I don't want to scroll too down and see those final arcs down there. Prefer to not have that. So how it's gonna work? yeah, just the arc that I'm currently talking about. I'll just put it up here so people know what we're discussing, and then the rest of the tier list is going to be down there. Yeah. All right. Honestly, should we just get to it? No. Okay, I won't lie. I am a little bit rusty on my steel ball run knowledge, but I'll try my
I'm
best.
rustier.
Yeah, yeah. You might be some even more rusty. Yeah, we're very very prepared right now. So let's see. Uh, let's see what we can talk about. Um, I'd prefer not to like flash manga images just like live like that. So honestly, this is just what the thing's gonna look like. And low key, I realized like I could probably put on some background music. That's probably ideal.
Dog on corn dog.
So let me.
Music.
All right, let me just put like some Golden Wind background music that I always do for these live streams. Yeah, it's that one. Actually, wait, if I do put background music, that's gonna mess with the actual audio, isn't it?
Yeah, what it would.
Hmm. Let's see. Hmm. That's a good point. Maybe I could record my raw audio with Audacity, and then we'd be good, I guess. Which just in case I want to turn this into a video. Okay, yeah, that works. All right, yeah, we're good. We're good. Um. Um. Is that working? Or is that too quiet? Oh, that's very loud, I think. All right, I think that should be good enough. If it's like too if that's like too loud or too quiet, let me know. Cuz at points it's looking like it's barely even audible, the background music, but I'm not sure. Just let me know about all that. Um okay. Okay. Now with all that, do we get into it? The Steel Ball Run arc tier list. Okay. First up. First up, we got the first. We got the first 11. The first 11 chapters, which what's after? Okay, it is just okay. Yeah, it's the Boom Boom family after this. So this is just the entire first race. Hmm. Ah. Okay. Okay. So this is just the entire first race, which um, which I think that's all we know that's being covered for the first episode of the anime. So hey, hopefully we get some more episodes, which they haven't really told us about, which is kind of crazy and kind of scary. But if people in the chat want to give out their opinion on where they think these arcs can be rated, um you could say that down below. I mean, like in the chat, obviously. Uh, in my personal, this is really hard to rank because this was definitely when Steel Ball Run wasn't really meant to be JoJo, but it kind of was, but not really. Um, I mean, Araki, they're just putting it as Steel Ball Run during this section. They weren't saying like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7 or anything like that. This was just Steel Ball Run. It wasn't until like chapter 9 where we got a stand in there, I think, with Hey Ya. Um, you could correct me if I'm wrong there. So yeah, it's just a very different. This is probably like the most like non JoJo arc in all of JoJo, just because it's just like um the focus is like entirely different. So this is like really hard to rank. Um I'm inclined to just like put it in the middle here. Um maybe even A, but I'm not sure. I don't want to inflate it too much. I think B is solid because it does have some like it's just strange, it's just very strange. Um we don't really hit the JoJo like villain of the week kind of formula yet. Like this is kind of just like starting off the Steel Ball Run race, and the issue is like the Steel Ball Run race itself doesn't really end up mattering by the end of it. Like, so this is, oh yeah, and also it sets up Sandman and Poco Loco like way too much just for them to also not matter at the end of it. And it's just like there's so much being included here that just like it ends up not really working out, which I mean, that's not necessarily the arc's fault, but this is the first arc of the part. And so it should be trying to set up stuff, and unfortunately it does fall flat just because that's just what Araki decided to do. So that's my personal opinion for putting this in B rank. I'm hoping. I'm hoping that people are fine with that. You better rank the Scary Monsters arc high. I'm not biased at all. Oh, yo, trust. Scary Monsters is really good. We really like Scary Monsters. Also, hi, hello Indigo. I appreciate you typing. Okay, so that's that. Next up, next up is the Desert Born Outlaws. Now, this includes like the Boom Boom family stuff. This is where like Mountain Tim is kind of at his like peak, I guess. Um, and that character that people don't like that character. Um, it's like it's okay for me. I mean, yeah, there is like the elephant in the room that you kind of have to address with a character like Mountain Tim, but it's not really. I mean, it happens. And hey, he is a character who looked to be set up a lot, who kind of just like vanished. And yeah, this also includes like the Mrs. Robinson fight, which can you even like that was kind of just like a one chapter thing of just like yeah, yeah, there's a villain right there. So I'm not I'm not entirely too sure. I will say though, the Devil's Palm stuff is pretty chill. But I don't even think that part's included. I think the Devil's Palm stuff is like later, like a little bit later. You could correct me if I'm wrong. Not too big into JoJo's as a whole, but I love your videos. Is JoJo Lands on a hiatus, or are you just taking a break from covering new chapters? I'm just taking a break from covering the new chapters. My plan is, instead of just doing covering the latest chapter, uh, I'm just gonna like cover the entire arc. But Araki kind of left me in a crazy situation because now I have like 11 chapters to cover for a singular arc, and it includes like 4 fights and this like so much stuff. Like, I really chose the wrong time to start doing that, so it's just like a lot that I have to try and think of, and I'm also trying to balance college, so that's like the hard part. So yeah, it's not on a hiatus. It's on like chapter 31, I think, even 32. Well, I forget. Like, I know what happened in the latest chapter, but I forget if it's like chapter 30, 31, or 32, something like that. But yeah. All right. So, yeah, as for this, um I will say this is probably worse than, cuz it doesn't Steel Ball Run doesn't start off, I mean, like, it starts off fine, and it kind of does hit like a weird point, like in the chapter 20 or 30 mark. Like, I will say it doesn't really pick up until Scary Monsters, which I don't know, that might be kind of crazy to say, but it's just like, this is the Boom Boom family arc, bro. This is not anything goaded. Um if anything, like, the Devil's Palm stuff is pretty chill, but yeah, this is not what people say. This is not what people think about when they say that Steel Ball Run is great. In fact, this is like the part where it's just like, yeah, dude, you just got to get through this, and then we're really doing good. Which, yeah, this is just, Johnny getting a stand is nice. Getting a stand with the corpse parts, but it's just like there's not like the Boom Boom family. They kind of just exist. They're nothing really characters. SBR didn't really grab me until Scary Monsters, to be honest. Yep, that's exactly my point. Yeah, like Steel Ball Run is definitely very slow. Thank you, JC. So thinking I'm thinking C tier even, because it's just like there's so much like nothing going on, which, I mean, to say nothing going on is kind of weird, but it's just like this is where Steel Ball Run is still like trying to figure out, like, it's still trying to do everything. The only cool thing about this part is like Mountain Tim like talking about the Devil's Palms and everything, which is just like, yeah, but the Boom Boom family is like kind of boring. At least the Steel Ball Run race is still like kind of a focus, but this is definitely like worse off. Not to say that the part's bad, like the arc is bad, because like none of these arcs are bad. This is just like relative to themselves. So this isn't gonna be like C tier on like some other anime that is just like terrible. Um, but yeah, this is just like relative to the other Steel Ball Run arcs. This is a C tier arc, I'm thinking. What's up? You did find JoJo's live. Are you planning on ranking JoJolion arcs in the future? Funny enough, I actually did rank JoJolion arcs like 4 years ago when JoJolion like just ended, and that was also with our friend who, I don't know if he's here yet, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been back.
Yeah, he's back. Okay, cool. So I actually did do that 4 years ago. I might return to doing that again because it's been so long. My opinions might have changed, and also the tier list was kind of scuffed. But yeah. Boom Boom family is very forgettable to me. Forgot they exist. Yeah, that's exactly my point. Those guys are like, Joe. We can't be saying the Boom Boom family is cool, but we can talk about the next arc, and this guy is really cool. The guy from a faraway country. Don't really want to say that, you know. Um, but yeah, yeah. Oye como va? You know, probably the first. This is the first like villain in Steel Ball Run who actually like interested me. You know, Mrs. Robinson and Boom Boom Family, those are kind of like nothing characters. But you know, Oye como va with the time the like stopwatch time bomb thingies. That stuff was really cool. I will say I really like this one. I don't know if it's enough for A tier because Steel Ball Run gets really good later on to where part this arc kind of gets like, I don't want to say power crept, but you know, with all the arcs happening in the future, I don't want to put it in A yet, because if I put this in A, that means A tier is kind of going to be like packed. But if I put it in B, A tier won't be as packed, and there are so many other arcs that I would prefer. Um, should there have been more update or release before the drop on the 19th? Like maybe a trailer opening. Um, they might do like one more thing. I like Oyakomova's design a lot. Yeah, I do too. It's a really cool design. Yeah, I'm thinking like this is definitely like low A tier or high B tier. I'll think about it. Like if we're not having too many A tiers, I could definitely move this guy up. But for the current moment, I do think it mixes well with the start of Steel Ball Run, which isn't bad at all per se. It's just like average in terms of Steel Ball Run arcs. I think we need a video covering Chitoses and the Ramune Ball return on the 31st. This is true. This is true. I can't believe Johnny Joestar is gonna be showing up on the 31st once again, because he does voice Chitose from Chitoses in the Ramune Bottle.
You know who else he voices?
Who else does he
April
voice?
1st.
Who has he voiced on April 1st?
Tomiya.
Ooh, from Classroom. All right, all right. Back to the JoJo. It's everyone's favorite arc, guys. Definite S tier stuff with the
Vitamin
Tuscan.
C.
Vitamin C is amazing. But yeah. Vitamin C level with Wired, or I guess Tusk. But yeah, we all love the pork pie hat kid, right? This is definitely what people think of when they think of peak Steel Ball Run. Like, yo, what's scary monsters, bro? What's Civil War? Now, pork pie hat kid, that's the man. That's the man. But honestly, seriously, yeah. If I did have to pick like a worst part, like a worst arc in Steel Ball Run, it's definitely Pork by Hat Kid. You know, Johnny mastering Tusk, like that stuff is cool. Or I don't even know about mastering Tusk, but you know, just having more of an evolution with Tusk. You know, Gyro kind of being like um out of the picture for this fight because Johnny's trying to like save Gyro. You know, that was nice because this is still a point where like Gyro is kind of like the main character, and Johnny is kind of just like playing like second fiddle, almost like a Speedwagon, honestly, with like Phantom Blood like that, where Johnny was kind of just like in the back. But this was like Johnny's time to shine for once. I will say that is nice, but it's Pork Pie Hat Kid. Like let's be honest with ourselves. Honestly, I maybe it could be D tier. Maybe it could be, I mean, maybe it could be C tier. But if there's one arc that I'm putting in D tier, it's definitely this one. So once again, you know, this is all relative. Like the Pork Pie Hat Kid fight, that's still like that's still like absolute cinema compared to something from like, you know, My Hero Academia, bro. But like, yeah, yeah, yeah. If there's one arc I'm putting in D tier, it's the Pork Pie Hat Kid fight. Still ball run in 9 more days. Yes, yes, 9 more days. All right, next up. Now this is where Steel Ball Run starts to cook. Scary monsters. We love the scary monsters arc. You know, we got Diego, we got the dinosaurs. You know, this is where Steel Ball Run really hits up the JoJo factor. I would say really goes crazy, and it's just like, yo, how can you hate Diego Brando? That guy is just he's just really cool. That guy is really cool. And yeah, this is definitely the best part, the best arc so far. Um, yeah, I don't think there's any like denying that. You know, unless you're a big like Oya Komova fan, which yeah, fair enough. But this is scary monsters we're talking about. Now the real question is it S tier or is it A tier? Uh, people are saying S tier in the chat, but I don't know. I don't know. Um, looking at the next couple of arcs, honestly, I think this is definitely like low S tier or high A tier type because Scary Monsters is it's really cool and it's really fun. Yeah. This is where JoJo is JoJo. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely. This is our first S tier. I will say it might be the worst S tier that we have, but that's like the worst of the best, which is still peak.
Worst.
True, the worst. You don't think Wired? I mean, Wired isn't that bad, but if we had to pick a worst part, I mean, if we had to pick a worst fight, it's definitely that one. It's definitely that one. Okay. I mean, the stuff at the end with Doctor Ferdinand was also pretty interesting. I really thought that could have like set up for like something else, but I mean, it's yeah, that stuff isn't necessary. Yeah, Scary Monsters, like, yo, it has so many iconic stuff to it that it's just like it has to be S tier. Though I do think by the end of this it might be the bottom of S tier. Um, yeah. Hey, speaking of S tier, speaking of S tier, you know what comes next? The True Man's World. What what a fight. What an arc in JoJo. And it's the craziest part is that it really just is in a random part of Steel Ball Run. This is like one of those JoJo arcs that is just like everyone loves. And it's just like one of the most random ones ever. Like this True Man's World is like at the same level of like final final fights in JoJo parts. And this is only a third into Steel Ball Run. Like True Man's World is actually just yo, that was fire. And also it gets props because I was born in the middle of the True Man's World arc. That's how old JoJo is. You know, this was early 2006. True Man's World. That was crazy. Still one of the best arcs in the series. Yeah, that.
I remember when I was reading it, there was like a comment just saying, "Welcome to the second best arc of Steel Ball Run."
Welcome to the second best arc of Steel Ball Run. Honestly, yeah,
Just where I was reading
yeah,
it on.
yeah. I remember being so caught off by Ringo's ability while first reading. Really made me wonder what D4C would do. Yeah, Orders of the World. Yeah, yeah. It's crazy because yo, a time related ability in the same series that has like the world and King Crimson, Made in Heaven, all these time based abilities you usually save up for the final boss, and just some random guy in the middle of nowhere in America, he can just go back 6 seconds. Dude, yo, True Man's World is okay. Obviously S tier. Um, definitely in the top three. You know, there is an opinion I have. You but this is definitely like a top 3 fight. And yeah, this is it's arcs like these that make me think of putting Scary Monsters in A tier. And that's crazy because Scary Monsters is amazing. Like like yeah, Diego is literally a dinosaur. Like how much better can it get? Yeah. Yeah. What is there to not say about True Man's World? Like Gyro really just hits another level from then on after everything that Ringo pretty much taught him. You know, kind of weird to say because people considering what Gyro does. But yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next up is a very underrated one, I would say. Not really one that people would talk about. Catch the Rainbow on a stormy night. Yeah. This one I love a lot. You see this? Okay, this is what I'm like. Maybe S tier is about to be super cluttered, but but I really like Catch the Rainbow. I really like The Stand. Um, it's a really stupid ability, but I love the limitation because it's just like, yo, what do you mean you could like travel anywhere in the air but only in the rain? Like people hate the rain. Like that's so random. What's up? I didn't know it was underrated because I love it. It might not be underrated, but it's definitely not what people like think about. Like I think like this is an amazing arc. Um I'm pretty sure yeah, this is because Blackmore is a very interesting character for how little he appears. Like he has like so many feats. It's like I don't want to word it like that because it makes it seem like he's powerful, but he just does so much in like the 3 chapters that he's in. Like it's actually like I don't want to like I feel like if you read back on it, it's just like him and Johnny are the only people to like see the actual like the identity of the corpse parts and like um Blackmore is like the only person to actually like you know kill characters that are just that like we think would be prominent, and it's just like yeah, this is another S tier. There's another S tier. You see, this is why I'm thinking of putting Scary Monsters in A because I do like Catch the Rainbow more than Scary Monsters. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of Catch the Rainbow love, which makes me think it's not underrated. But yeah, yeah, he makes a good first great impression. Very memorable for how little he shows up. Yep, exactly. Blackmore shows up like he's barely there. He's barely there, but he's just one of those guys that you remember. You really just remember it. I haven't read SBR yet. Is it peak and live up to the hype? I would say yeah. I'd say it lives up to the hype. Um, you know, it isn't. It's not my favorite part of JoJo. I'll say that, but that's because I love JoJolion way too much. I was surprised in rereading because I thought Blackmore showed up more. Exactly. You really think like Blackmore is one of those guys, but that guy's only in like 3 chapters, but he just does so much in like every scene he's in. Okay. This next arc. This is a heartbreaker one. We had a good streak of S tier fights. But then we have one that's a little bit controversial. We got In a Silent Way, and this is it's not the halfway part of Steel Ball Run yet, but I think in terms of arcs, this is the 8th arc, and there are 8 left. So this is roughly the halfway point in like JoJo fights. Hoping for more Blackmore scenes in the anime, hopefully, but it is kind of a I yeah, I do wish he could do more, but there is just something we're talking about we're still talking about Blackmore. There is just something interesting about a character who does just show up like a couple of times and just makes such an impact all of those times to the point where you still remember him. It's a shame that Sandman doesn't really do the same thing now, does he? Uh, oh man, it's just like Araki. Like this is what you do. This, in a silent way. Like that's not Sandman, and you know it, man. This is not what you wanted to do. This is the first character you introduced, and you just make him another villain. It doesn't even make sense. Honestly, this might be worse than Wired, bro. You think this is as bad as Pork by Hat Kid? What they did the Sandman? Like,
You're asking me?
yeah, I'm asking you.
It's been 2 months the Red JoJo.
You're good.
But yeah, no, it does. It is just like, why is Sandman just suddenly like
Yeah, because
water?
because at least Pork Pie Hat Kid is a guy who's just like, yeah, that guy. You know, he was always just trash. But it's just like you flat out like ruined Sandman here. You straight up ruined that guy. I I really wish Sandman had more time to shine. He's great, but man, I don't really care for In a Silent Way, and that makes me sad. Yeah, exactly. His stand isn't even interesting, bro. You're gonna copy Echoes, and it's not even like Echoes Act 3. You copy Echoes Act 2. Like, yo, how do you copy Echoes Act 2? Come on, bro. Honestly, yeah, this is really like the one like sour spot in like this later end of Steel Ball Run. I'm I really want I'm this is the okay. For all the hate I was giving Pork by Hat Kid, at least he wasn't like at least Pork Pie Hat Kid wasn't in like the actual race of just like, yo, Pork Pie Hat Kid's gonna go crazy. Like, no. No. We always knew. We always knew Pork Pie Hat Kid was gonna be bad. But Sandman, what you did to Sand, look how they massacred my boy. Also, I just realized that the background audio stopped playing. So I'm gonna just hit this BRB fish real quick. Fishy, yeah. I'm gonna try to have the. I thought I looped it. Turns out I didn't, so it just like stopped after like 10 minutes. Okay. That should be good. Let me know if the. Let me know if it's like. Let me know if it's like too quiet, too loud, if you could even hear it in the first place. Or, I have an idea. Because that's a bit too loud, but then I could lower it again. Yeah. I think because of the background music, you're gonna have to speak like a little bit louder. But shouldn't be too bad. Okay, I think. All right, yeah. Let me know how the background music is. If it's a little bit too quiet or a little bit too loud, I'll try to change it. But yeah. Yeah, as I was saying, you know, this arc is flat out like character assassination for a character who was like there a lot of the time. Like at least Pork Pie Hat Kid was kind of just like a one and done thing. Like nobody cares about that guy. But Sandman, we love that guy. We love Sandman. It's just like, man, you really did that to him. You really did that to him. All right, everyone, make sure to like the stream. You know, 6 likes with 8 people here. We gotta boost those numbers up. Make sure to like the stream.
I'll do that.
True. True. Yo, let's hit a goal of one super chat. Share how you'll celebrate. How are we gonna celebrate if we get a super chat?
First year's desk man.
Ooh.
Wait, no, I know what you need. You need Chitoses in the ramen bottle volume 7.
True. Oh, I was gonna say Subway footlong maybe.
Yeah, we could do that too.
Yeah. So Subway footlong. Let's go. All right.
$5 more.
You have an hour for a single super chat. It would be funny. It would be funny, but you know, no. It's just for the jokes. It's just for jokes. All right. Okay. Now tier list has been looking interesting so far. You know, we are missing that. We are missing that A tier, but Sugar Mountain and Tattoo You. Oh yeah, that they are the same thing. Yeah. Okay, this arc's pretty interesting because it's really hard. I forget what story it's based off of. I'm gonna have to edit it in post, but it's just like it's that yeah, it's that thing where it's just like, you know, be careful what you wish for because yeah, you just might get it and then like there's like a huge risk to it and then you end up sacrificing so much because the scene at the end of this arc is probably like the best we saw from Steel Ball Run at this point, but I don't know if I could say that like this is better than Scary Monsters for the rest of it because it's just like you have like one shining moment at the end of the arc. It's just like, man, how do you not put that at S tier? How do you not put that at S tier? This, wow, Steel Ball Run is really good, huh? It's really good, isn't it? There's so many. This might be even more than Scary Monsters. This might be like low S, high A, because how do you end with a toast like that, and then not really put this in S tier? The rest of the arc, the rest of the arc isn't that like. I mean, it's still good. Like we hit a point where Steel Ball Run fights are just like peak throughout the rest of the. Oh, drop something. Like yeah, we hit a point where the rest of the fights in Steel Ball Run are just amazing, but this kind of is just like. Okay, either the last or like the second to last fight that's kind of just because like Tattoo You is kind of just like an oversight for Sugar Mountain because like you don't even know the names of the guys who use Tattoo You. Like they're literally called 11 men. Like okay, bro. Okay, dude. 11 men. The moment at the end of Sugar Mountain really brings up the entire arc. Yeah, exactly. If it wasn't for that, that would be like yeah, that's what I'm thinking. This would be a B tier arc, but the moment at the end, it bumps it up to A tier. It can't bump it up to S tier. Even though it is the best scene in Steel Ball Run up to this point, you can't go all the way to S tier when like the rest of the arc was just like fine, you know? Like yeah. That's what I think. It's definitely our first A tier fight, which Scary Monsters might join it, but honestly, maybe not. We're about to hit like just flat out great arcs at this point. But yeah. Sugar Mountain is it's a great fight. You know, it's better than Oya Como Va. That's a bit that's what I'm thinking. It's like Oya Como Va type of fight where it's just like but kind of the opposite because like Oya Como Va is like pretty charming, but the 11 men are kind of they're like not even a factor really. It's more Sugar Mountain. But yeah, all of that was like fine. And then you just have that like magnum opus at the end where it's just like, oh yeah, yeah, that brings it up a tier. So I say it's solidly A tier. I think S tier is giving it too much credit though, even though it is really good. Okay, this this arc is really interesting. Tubular Bells. Um, honest, is this like the only fight that doesn't have Johnny and Gyro? Because this really is just like Hot Pants versus Mike O. I think his name is. It's Mike O, right? Jojo. Yeah, I'm fairly certain it's Mike O and Tubular Bells. Yep, yep. Okay, I'm glad I remembered that. Me and the JoJo YouTuber remembers stuff about JoJo. How shocking, dude! This is like a heavy like how do you say it? This is like a heavy like lore kind of set of chapters where there isn't really much fighting going on. Like the Tubular Bells thing is really just like chapter 50, like the last chapter on that list. Yeah, the Johnny and Gyro don't even like show up kind of. This is all Tubular Bells is all set up. It's all set up for later on into Steel Ball Run. But yeah, by itself, it's pretty fine. Honestly, I do like. I'm a big fan of like the lore fights where it's just like the fight's kind of in the background while we're like doing other stuff, which is very similar to Sugar Mountain. It's very Sugar Mountain esque. I don't think it's as good as Sugar Mountain. I do think the Tubular Bells fight with Hot Pants is better than whatever Johnny and Gyro were doing with 11 Men. I wouldn't say it's better than what was going on with Sugar Mountain though, but I do think it's still better than Oye Como Va. It's like I don't think we're really getting B tier or lower fights after this or before this. No, yeah, after this. I don't know. What I said before this. Yeah, this is like a solid A tier arc. Like this is like the Tubular Bells fight. Not even, maybe not even the fight. More like the setup. Like that's just like solid A tier because Steel Ball Run gets way better after this, but Steel Ball Run is 100% past its weak spot that it kind of was in from like chapter like 15 to like 30 kind of. Well, Scary Monsters, pre Scary Monsters, like we're definitely like past all that. But like Steel Ball Run is just peak from here on out. Yeah. That's pretty much all I have to say about Tubular Bells. I mean the stand is really cool. Um yeah. Yeah, it's nice that Hot Pants got a solo fight like that. I think that's like the only one here. It's kind of in that style. Uh actually the, there okay. There is something afterwards. So there's that. Okay. Now next up, this is a really good one. This is a really really good one. Ooh. Wrecking Ball. Wrecking Ball for Steel Ball Run. What a fight, man! I love this fight. I love this fight a lot. This is this is this is Steel Ball Run. It's really nice that we got some like more semi backstory on Gyro. No, not necessarily Gyro backstory, but more like cultural backstory. Yeah, backstory to Gyro's culture. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, like the facts like we got introduced to a character that isn't a stand user is like this late into JoJo, 7 chapters into JoJo. Like we did have Mrs. Robinson, but that was before like stands were like super important to the plot like that. Like this is the last fight where we fight a non-stand user. I'm pretty sure, like because in Jajolian like everyone has a stand, and in Steel Ball Run like pretty much every main character has a stand except Weka Pipo. Like it's crazy that he's just another guy with steel balls. Like he's just as confused as everyone else. Like why is Magenta hitting that pose? And why does it make him indestructible? Who knows? Well, the audience knows and the stand users know. But it's just like a really interesting thing to have, you know. Like that stuff is pretty cool to have. Oh yeah, and also like bro, all of that and I only talked about Weka Pipo. Um, you know, Magenta, you know, really funny guy, and a really interesting character there. Um, yeah, this has nothing to do with the part, but um, I mean with the fight, but Weka Pipo and Magenta, Wake Up People, and Magenta, you know, great songs, you know, very nice songs to listen to. Um, yeah, this is the fight itself is also really cool. Like that ending just like ever since I read it, I always remembered that ending. It was really cool. The cine, I mean, not really cinematography, right? Just like how Johnny interact with the bullets because at this point, um, Johnny is like very comfortable with Tusk. Like he has a lot of experience with it. Uh, there's something in the Silent Wave fight that is like a bonus that I didn't really mention, but like it's still that's still character assassination, you know. But yeah, this fight right here, this is really good. This might be controversial, but I do like Wrecking Ball more than Scary Monsters. Um, I just, you know, we love Diego, but like Weka People, Magenta are such cool characters. They're kind of like Blackmore esque, where it's like, yeah, they don't appear as much. Actually, yeah, this is this is also above Catch the Rainbow. They're definitely Blackmore esque, where it's just like, yo, Weka People and Magenta do not appear that much, but they make an impact. Such cool characters. Yeah, they're definitely above Catch the Rainbow, in my opinion. And yeah, that's all I really have to say. You know, at this point, Johnny and Gyro are very close. That's pretty cool, and you know, just having a 2v2 fight is pretty cool since usually it's like Johnny and Gyro working together to fight a singular guy, but here it's actually like the you know playing field's pretty even. Okay, I'm kind of just saying random stuff, but this next arc, this is some amazing stuff. Civil War. Okay, I absolutely love Civil War. All right, this is this is such this is such an amazing arc. There's noise in the background. Okay. Yeah, Civil War is such an amazing arc. You know, great song. First of all, you know, great song, but it's just like Axl Rowe is just such an interesting character. You know, it's another one of those like Blackmore, Weka People, Magenta. Bro is only I really like the dynamic between Weka People and Magenta. Yeah, yeah, same. But yeah, Axl Rose he's just one of those characters where it's just like, yo, he's really only here for 5 chapters. Um, not even 5. I think he only shows up in like 3 of them. But yeah, the backstory he has is just like it's one of those backstories where you really remember him. Like Axl Rose is a very memorable character, I'll say. And yeah, yeah, like you know, just the whole Civil War fight in general. Johnny kind of this is like there's like characterization to Johnny that you don't really like understand until this arc. Like this is where Johnny really like comes into his own, and it's just like you know like what he ends up doing with Tusk in this arc is absolutely it's absolutely phenomenal. Like this is genuinely like I really like this arc, and this might be All right, there's more background noise. This might be a very controversial take, right? Because True Man's World is right there, right? But in my opinion, Civil War is the best of Steel Ball Run that we see up until this point. I personally like Civil War more than True Man's World. I know the very might be a very hot take because we all love Ringo Rodigan, but Civil War is just something else, man. This is really where Steel Ball Run just like, and Steel Ball Run was already like amazing up until this point, but like all the Johnny characterization we get, and it's just like how the fight really develops. Like that ending was also crazy, just like just out of nowhere like that. But it's just like with everything in Steel Ball Run, like it does like kind of culminate at the end of Civil War, and then we kind of like reach like our final stages of the Steel Ball Run. I guess the part in general, not really the race. Like, yeah, at this point, the race, nobody cares about the race, bro. Nobody cares about the race. As it's crazy. It's crazy what happens, but yeah, this is my favorite. Okay, that's hard to say with what's coming up. Up until this point, like at this point, Civil War is my favorite arc. It's just that's that's where Steel Ball Run really becomes something. Well, you could say the same thing about True Man's World, but it's like True Man's World happens, and like there's still like some points where it's just like, God dang, this could be better. But literally, starting from Civil War, it's just all peak, which is yeah. Like look at S tier compared to all the other tiers. I heard, Scary Monsters might have to move down there to A tier. Okay, that was a lot. That was a lot to talk about with Civil War. All right, next up, both sides now. Like this is more. This is very similar to Tubular Bells. This is like all set up for what's to come. After this, both sides now. Yeah, this is like when we're really going crazy with the okay, I will say there is it's hard to rate this one just because of the crazy events that happen. Really we really do figure out why Valentine is such a bad guy. How could the president of the United States be such a bad person? Um but yeah, yeah. Both sides now is kind of where just like um well, Civil War is like okay, this is where like Steel Ball Run just becomes like goaded from here on out. Both sides now is kind of just like setting up for that big battle. And yeah, we get at this point we do get some of our good returning characters. Well, that's more so than the next arc than this one. This kind of is just like I've said that. Yeah, I'm kind of like repeating myself here, but both sides now is basically set up for what's to come. But it's hard because there's a scene in here that people don't like, but that's why Valentine's a villain. That's why he's a terrible person. That's why Funny Valentine is a terrible person. I don't want to rate it lower because of that. It is a bad scene. Obviously it's horrifying, but it's it's hard to say. But man, it's for character. Okay, compared to Tubular Bells, I'd put it above Tubular Bells. It's not above the Sugar Mountain, um, like that amazing toast scene, or honestly the rest of what Sugar Mountain's got going on. But it's very similar to Tubular Bells. It's another like setup arc kind of, but I would put it above Tubular Bells just because um it sets up for the final fight way better. Which I mean, yeah, I guess that makes sense because it's like right before it. But yeah, this is where this is where Steel Ball Run is cooking, and cooking it is because Chocolate Disco slash D4C 64 to 70. Yeah. This okay, this is where we start getting into D4C, and um yeah, trying to figure out what to say. Yeah, this is where we start learning about D4C, and we have a very very confusing arc. It's just like and at the time it is there. The chocolate disco fight is pretty cool. It's more like a mini fight. It's low key like it's like Mrs. Robinson if it was like really good and at the end of Steel Ball Run, which I mean yeah it is, but it's like the same kind of like saying setup fight is a bit weird, but it's kind of just like okay, we need Gyro to do something while Johnny is going through hell and back. Um, yeah, I really like Chocolate Disco. I'm actually this is another arc where I'm thinking is it either A or S. Um, we see so many characters in this arc. Chocolate Disco is such a nothing fight to me in my opinion, especially since D4 stuff is way more interesting. Yeah, I guess so. Um, I mean, it's nice to have like some of those like wacky stands, especially because like at this point, Chocolate Disco is kind of like the last like new character we see. Yo, who even is that guy? Low key, like, yo, how is Chocolate Disco like this guy's second? Like, that's that's Funny Valentine's second in command at this point. Yeah, there's so much interesting stuff that happens here. This is another like scary monsters type where it's kind of like end of S, top of A. Honestly, I'm leaning more towards top of A just because that's just it's cool that D4C got introduced in this way, but then again, this isn't this isn't what D4C is. Like you kind of just like changed his ability later on to make it more simplified, which is like cool. This is like the cusp of S tier, but I still want to put it in A. I do think it beats out. Okay, it doesn't beat out the scene with Sugar Mountain, the scene with Johnny and Gyro specifically, but I do think overall this fight is better. I do think overall that this fight is better. Um, yeah, I think just seeing so many characters interact, even if it's in weird terms like this, with what like D4C has going on, like this it's like almost there at S, but it's like if D4C was handled a little better, maybe if the Chocolate Disco fight, um, if it wasn't just like oh let's keep Gyro busy with something, then it could be S tier, but yeah, I do want to put end of A, and honestly, part of it is just like S tier is so bloated, but yeah, yeah, yeah. I think chocolate disco and like the D4C fight, it's it's almost there, but it doesn't quite hit it for me. But that's completely fine. That is completely fine because right afterwards, dude, 18 chapters. That is so long. We get the main villain fight. You know, D4C. We Love Train. Okay, like this is obviously the best. Um, obviously the best in Steel Ball Run. Honestly, people even say that the D4C fight is like peak JoJo. No, there are a couple of arcs that I do put above the D4C fight, but when it comes to Steel Ball Run, yeah, this is the best. Like there's no denying. Honestly, this thing needs its own tier. S plot. Oh wait, that just changed the that just changed S. Yeah, add a row above. Okay. Obviously. No, I'll just say it. Whoa. I love Civil War, but I wish. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That is as solid of an S plus that you can get. Like it's genuinely just another tier. Like what is there to not say about Love Train? Like yo, the funny Valentine. Oh yo, I wasn't even thinking. This also includes like Funny Valentine versus Diego and all. There's so many like mini fights that happen in this arc, and they're all just so amazing, just like back to back to back, and just like how it ends. Because this includes Break My Heart, Break Your Heart. This is like that is like one of the best chapters in all of JoJo, and that's like 900 chapters, man. Like they're like this is the main villain fight. Like there's a reason why these are like the best of the best. Like what is there to not say about the Love Train fight? Like this is genuinely just like okay, I don't want to say peak JoJo because you know there are better arcs in my opinion, but this is as peak as you can really get. Like, you know, I've said this multiple times, but it's just like there's so much just like great stuff. Like this is like the culmination of everything, and it's a really good send off Steel Ball Run. But okay, if if you want to go into Steel Ball Run like semi blind at this point, but it's just like you don't want any spoilers for this last fight, like you really should just leave now because this is crazy, right? This is a crazy reveal, and you know I'm glad that I was able to go into it being like, yo, what? But yeah, so the final arc in JoJo, you know, we're done with the main villain and everything, but yo, we still gotta finish the race, right? So yeah, I'm hoping that everyone's already gone there. Everyone's already gone. Yeah, final little warning. Final little warning. Yeah, but this this high voltage fight and like the epilogue to Steel Ball Run, it's very contentious. Like there are people who really don't like this arc. There are people who love this arc. That's kind of like I was gonna say there are people who love this arc even more than the final fight. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I think it's okay. I think high voltage is okay. I think it works as an ending. It works as an ending. Of course, little bit of a heartbreaker at the end. You know, like Johnny works so hard. You know, our favorite characters they all work so hard, and you know, it kind of ends like that. But hey, and it's completely fine for me. Like that like you know that's just how life goes. But I will say, the thing is, it's like all just like it's aura and hype moments. This fight is purely just aura and hype moments. Um, I will say just the fact that Tusk Tusk is just like a crazy stand at this point. The fact it can move, you know, like it's that strong to where it could just like what we think Tusk can't do. Oh, Tusk can actually do that. Like that's kind of insane. That's kind of insane to me. But I do think it's an okay. I think it's a great arc, right? In my opinion, it's not S tier. I don't think it's S tier. I think it's just a bit too like um yeah, I just think it's all aura and hype moments. It's all like style points, all of that stuff. But I don't know, it's very hard to say it's above like Scary Monsters and Catch the Rainbow when they do so much for the part. And I do think the epilogue is fine. Like this is like actually, if you because this is like the ending to Steel Ball Run, right? Ah, damn. Considering all, actually, I do want to move it. I do want to move it up. I think, yeah. If you consider just like the ending, like so much, they do so much actually. Yeah, I take it back a bit. You know, the first half of this arc is like all style points and like aura hype moments, but like that last chapter, those last two chapters, those are like amazing. This is a great send off to Steel Ball Run. I'd say it was a great way to end the part. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't put it above Wrecking Ball though. I really like Wrecking Ball, and it's like high voltage. You could coast off of your aura and hype moments for a little bit, but you get to arcs that just have like beautiful villain characters, and it's just like the villain character here, like yeah, he that is cool, but like, then again, it's just like, dang, like what the hell, like, okay, bruh, okay. um yeah, it's just like the main villain for like, I mean, the villain character for high voltage is kind of just like, what, all right, you know, like it's all for the hype, it's all just fanfare, honestly. Honestly, with how this tier list ended out, like, I'm fine with this. I do think it's weird to put Boom Boom alone in C tier, but that kind of works out. It is kind of just like a meh part. Um, Honestly, if anything, I might move the Pork Pie Hat Kid one up, just to show how terrible In a Silent Way is, and how like it just does. It's the only Steel Ball Run part that's like actively like negative towards the part, because at least like Pork Pie Hat Kid and like Boom Boom, they kind of hit like neutral territory of just like, okay, this is a bit of a slog. Let's just get through this. But Boom Boom Family is definitely better because of all of the lore drops with like the Devil's Palm and everything. But honestly, yeah, with how the rest of this looks, this is completely fine to me. I think I definitely agree with everything here. Um, yeah, I think this is a really good example just to show like, Steel Ball Run is definitely one of those parts to like pick up around. Um, I was gonna say at the end, like, no, like 25 chapters in, like after that, like you really get into a really good part here. Um, yeah, yeah. There's so yeah, there are people who really like the starting stage and what the Steel Ball Run was setting up to be. I just think it falls a little flat when like it kind of does so much that just leads to nothing. Um, yeah, that's kind of where it like ends. You know, of course, like Steel Ball Run gets way better at the end. It doesn't need the characterization that happened at the start. Well, I mean, to say, it's just like that stuff's like art. They're already past that kind of thing. So yeah, this is my Steel Ball Run story arc tier list. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'm glad you were all able to join the stream. I really appreciated it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna just end the stream. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate that. Yeah. So this is my tier list. I think a bit of it is fairly like straightforward. I do have like some. I mean, this is kind of like common consensus kind of tier list. If anything, I think Civil War at second. That might be a bit. That might be a bit like that might be like my most controversial one. But yeah, I completely agree with everything here. Well, obviously, I made the tier list, but there's nothing like, I'm not regretting putting anything like lower or higher here. I think this works out. This works out. Okay. So yep, that's all for the stream. This was just something fun I wanted to do right after, with all the Steel Ball Run stuff going on. It's just like a really good thing to have. But yeah, all right. Goodbye, everyone. This was very fun.